Okay, so what is going on here? Abubakar Salim, the actor behind Bayek, is meeting up with the game director of Assassin's Creed Origins and some writers on Origins as well. Is this just a fun get-together to freak everyone out, or could there be more going on? In this video, I want to dive a little bit deeper into what these guys did and are doing right now, and what this might mean for the future of the franchise. Must be a Bayek sequel, right? Well, likely not. So let's unpack it in this video, plus we will talk about a petition that has been making the rounds regarding the lore of the franchise. So if you enjoyed that, then a like would be super appreciated, and let's go. First of all, quick reminder that I'm running a giveaway for the new Abstergo gear pack. Link is in the pinned comment for a chance to win, and the winner will be selected one day after my review of the pack will be live, so likely March 20th. Again, a link in the pinned comment, and be sure you are subscribed to the channel before you enter. You likely already know Ashraf Ismail, right? The game director on Assassin's Creed Origins and also Black Flag. He's now a creative director on an unannounced project since December 2017, so right after he shipped Origins. So right after launch, he took a well-deserved break, if I recall correctly, and now he's working on a secret project at Ubisoft Montreal for 1 year and 4 months already. And it's very likely the next Assassin's Creed game. I mean, why put him on something else after 2 successful games in the franchise, especially after Origins did a fantastic job of recreating the gameplay for the franchise and adding RPG elements to it as well, that then Odyssey could build upon and take it to the next level. Worth noting is that he's now a creative director, while first he was a game director, making sure that the vision of the game stays the same throughout development and that everything falls into place at the end. While from my understanding, a creative director gets to go more crazy in terms of ideas and think of cool possible things to do with the game that might be a little too ambitious as well. Another person in the picture is Darby, a narrative director at Ubisoft Montreal, who was the lead writer on Assassin's Creed 4 Black Flag, Revelations and the short film Embers, and actually did work for Origins as well, but not strictly as a script writer. No, here he also wrote, but also did research and conception. And right now he continued to do the same work as he did for Origins, but on a new unannounced project between 2016 and 2018, and then immediately went to continue to work on another unannounced project that he's still working on right now. And interesting is that he stopped working on Origins 1 year before the game came out, and maybe that's not really weird, because it seems like he's doing more things that happen in the early parts of the development, like conception, like coming up with ideas and doing research to likely the historical time period. So I would not be surprised if he's right now helping Ashraf Ismail on the next Assassin's Creed game, just like he did with Origins, and that other unannounced game that he stopped working on was Watch Dogs 3. I mean, rumors are going around about that game being set in London and that it will come out this year. So with him moving on in 2018 would make sense, looking at what he did for Origins as well. But that is not that important. It's more interesting that there might be a chance that he is now also working on this next Assassin's Creed game, just like Ashraf Ismail. We also see Alan here on the picture, who was a lead writer on Assassin's Creed Origins, so you would think that he's now working on the next Assassin's Creed game with Ashraf Ismail as well, right? Either way, all the people could be linked to the next potential Assassin's Creed game. And then we have the actor of Bayek there as well. And again, this could be just a major troll, nothing more than a catch-up with a fine group of gentlemen, as Ashraf notes on Twitter. The photo was shot at Ubisoft Montreal, in the studio it seems, because we got Gavin Young, a lead programmer, joking that the security is not doing their job. And you can see a PlayStation there in the background as well, so this has to be Ubisoft Montreal. And I find it hard to believe that the actor behind Bayek is making a trip to the studio for just fun, to catch up with the guys. There has to be another purpose, I think. A lot of replies talk about Bayek sequel, and as much I would love a new game with Bayek, this is just very, very unlikely. YouTuber UB Central posted this tweet saying give this man a sequel, and Ashraf Ismail responded with a link to an interview from Game Informer with the chief creative officer, and there's no way that I can pronounce his name right, Serge Escuit? Something like that. Anyway, he's higher up at Ubisoft and discussed the future of Assassin's Creed and how they approach a new project, saying that the most interesting thing for Ubisoft about AEC is the history and not the characters. So when they make a new game, they first decide what the next period is they want to visit. So that very likely results in them jumping hundreds or thousands of years so it's hard to have the same character then. So that is likely also the case for this next game, right? That Ashraf and his team likely have an awesome time period in their heads that is way later or maybe earlier than Origins or Odyssey was. So then it doesn't make sense to play as Bayek again. But I still think that he could play some role though, flashbacks or just small sequences that explain more about what happened after the Curse of the Pharaohs that maybe lead into this next game. The interview that Ashraf linked to also talks about Bayek and Aya and how their stories left an opening to return. And that was really the case in the Curse of the Pharaohs. It did not even have credits or a proper ending, and the story continued in an area that we could later explore, where we found the body of this guy that we just gave the apple to, and now he was killed by cobras with no sign of the apple whatsoever. So going back to the interview where Game Informer says that the ending of Origins was much less resolute than the other AC games, we have Serge saying that he does not want to discuss this, but that there is a plan. When we create characters as strong as Ezio, it's a pity to not go further, but then Bayek and his wife are powerful characters. Maybe something else will push forward, be it a TV show or a movie. So is that it? That maybe the story of Bayek and Aya will continue, but in a TV show with Abubakar Salim as Bayek? I mean, apart from his role as voice of Bayek, he played in some other TV shows already. Is that why he's like meeting with some people at Ubisoft Montreal and then also with the video game team? We already saw the story of Aya continue after the main story from Origins, but in the comics. So maybe that is something that they're looking at with Bayek as well, to continue his story or what he did after the Curse of the Pharaohs, but in a transmedia way. Being a TV show, film, or maybe also a comic, I don't know. I thought it was fun to give my take on it and kind of give you some background to this picture as well. Again, it could be nothing for sure, but I still find it hard to believe that he would go to Ubisoft Montreal just to catch up with some Assassin's Creed Origins riders. Curious to hear your theories, of course, in the comments down below as well. And by the way, you know who also went to Montreal recently? The voice and actor behind Alexios. You see pictures from his Instagram story here. Yes, I'm stalking these guys. Where he went to work on a secret project. And yes, while Bayek was really meeting with Ubisoft developers, Michael behind Alexios could really be doing anything there. Like, he could have visited Ubisoft Montreal or just something completely different. I still thought it was interesting to throw it in there. Maybe he will play some role in the next Ubisoft game as well. But again, could also be something else. And going back to that interview from Game Informer about them focusing on the setting and not really on the characters, well, it has been like obvious in terms of the overall lore of the whole franchise as well. The ancient Greece setting was likely chosen first because you can do a ton of awesome things with it. I would imagine because they could use a lot of assets from Origins as well. But then they tried to tie it up with the lore, and that did not really work out that well and made it less of an overall Assassin's Creed game as well. Like, some of the comments under the Odyssey E3 reveal totally echo that, with people saying it doesn't look like an Assassin's Creed anymore, or that the hidden blade is so hidden that you cannot see it anymore. And someone else asks, where is the assassin part? And I'm totally sure that Ubisoft will address this, because this has been a very vocal response. Like, they even acknowledged this already in that previously mentioned Game Informer interview. I found we were lacking some of the flavor of an assassin, so we are working on that. We don't want to move away. We want to respect the brand, but also want to improve it. And that's of course talking about the gameplay, that yes, since Origins made a major step in the right direction in my opinion. But yeah, respecting the brand is also about respecting the lore that the brand established. And while Odyssey does try to tie things together or reveal new things, it kind of makes things worse and has a number of things that contradict with the lore. And if you are like super invested into the lore, then it's of course very stupid to see that. And then you're wondering, why would I even care if Ubisoft doesn't care? Now, I gotta be honest with you, I'm not as deep into the Assassin's Creed lore as other people are. Like, I still really respect it and enjoy that part, but I mostly play these games for the gameplay and exploring the historical time periods, and now making an awesome build and fighting enemies as well. But now Dave Schurz reached out about a petition that he started regarding Assassin's Creed and how it is in need of a lore master. So someone protecting the lore and who makes sure that things that do not make sense don't find their way into the game. And now I don't want to spoil the ending of The Legacy of the First Blade episode 3 here, because I know that some people haven't beaten it yet, but there are some things that do not line up with the things that were established, for example in Origins. There are some videos out there, like totally check them out if you want. It's just overall pretty bad, and stuff like that does not need to happen again. Like we see that with the recent games, they are kind of moving away from the whole modern day setting. It's just a small part of the game now, and sure, that is a choice for them that you can like or not, but I feel that you at least have to make sure that the things that you do that tie these games together make sense in the grand scheme of things. I will link to the petition by Dave that is already close to 5,000 signatures in the pinned comment. It's also pinned on the Assassin's Creed Reddit. Many people have shared it already, and I think it really shows that we all care about this series and about the lore and just want Ubisoft to do better. It really gives Assassin's Creed that extra layer of depth that sets it even more apart than being the series that goes to different historical time periods. So yes, we discussed a lot in this video. I'm curious to hear what you think, of course, in the comments down below. Subscribe for everything Assassin's Creed and Assassin's Creed Odyssey, and it's always fun to go back to some Origins memories, of course, as well. Anyway, like the video to support the channel, and yes, we're of course going to Sargon as well to see if we can finally get the freaking Hades Lieutenant. Yes, Sargon, it's not about the characters, it's not about you. You will not be in the next Assassin's Creed game, and I'm actually pretty happy with that. But they will likely find another vendor that is, yeah, hopefully more generous in terms of Hades Lieutenants. I hope that I get the Hades Lieutenant, by the way, before the next game. But yeah, let's open an Olympian gift, of course. Come on, come on, come on. Ooh, an epic. Ooh, did not expect that. Bronze chestplate, total armor, burning. Pretty cool for the burning. I'm not really a fan of the burning duration, but it's still pretty nice, of course. Speaking of burning here, my flaming arrows. I mean, he's still burning long enough. I don't need that extra burning duration. By the way, I also want to make a video discussing the future of Assassin's Creed in terms of next game, but more in depth. Like also talking about the recent rumors. I thought this picture they shared on Twitter was a cool thing to kind of see what Ashraf Ismail is doing, and that he has been working on a likely new Assassin's Creed game for a really long time. But there have been some rumors regarding settings and stuff like that that I want to discuss really soon. For now, subscribe to the channel to stay up to date on everything Assassin's Creed. Like the video, check the Abstergo gear pack giveaway if you haven't already. And of course, you can watch a previous Assassin's Creed video on everything that is coming to March, or that's coming to the game in March by clicking on the screen. Goodbye.